now that I've cleared some space and done all that kind of stuff, what is going on with my lighting today? Is it because it's daytime? Yeah, it seems to be showing up better without the light on today. So, sorry if there's going to be some shadows and stuff. I have a light on behind me and up off to the side, so it shines shadows because of where the over the desk tripod is. There we go. I knew the word would come to me eventually. But I think today would be a good day for a pick-a-card. And I am going to just do the setup and everything on camera. I figure it doesn't hurt anything and it doesn't take too long for me to set it up, so. I'm using the Universal Wisdom Oracle cards, so we will see what comes up. When I do pick a cards, I tend to like to use 4 cards all the same. Because I know for me, sometimes I struggle with picking out a card or a crystal that I'm drawn to, because sometimes my eye gravitates towards certain colors. So, there's one card. I didn't see what it was when it flipped. I covered it up with my hands, so I stay completely neutral. And then, whoop. Sticky cards, sticky cards, sticky cards. Okay. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. I also don't like to do things in odd numbers. I don't know if it's my OCD or just all of that. So, in case the card did show up on camera, I am going to shuffle them around. I know I didn't see the card, but I don't know if it showed up on the actual camera. I shuffled them all around so that we don't know where it would be. Okay. So, let me do that. Let me get here's my, let's see. I'm just looking for my other clear crystals. Sponge overboard. Okay, I'm going to be very good. I'm going to not put that on card number 3. I've been doing that constantly lately, and it's just, I'm like, why do I keep doing that? Okay. Actually, that one's pulling more lately today, so okay. So here are the 4 cards, and I am going to let you know what the crystals are, in case the crystals are what you're feeling pulled to, or what can help you select a card. Group 1 is Selenite. Group 2 is Clear Quartz. Group 3 is Icelandic Spar. And Group 4 is Angel Aura Quartz. So I'm going to be quiet and let you look at the cards for a few moments. Okay, and with that, on to the show. Okay, Selenite, here is your reading. As I was saying, if you didn't watch the unbagging video, Selenite is a very good cleansing stone, so it could very well be that you need some sort of cleansing in your life. So, let's see what your card says. Healing! That makes perfect sense. So, because this is a brand new deck, I mean, I can pretty much infer what the card means, but let's just read off the meaning and see what it says. Creation is filled with the healing light of love. It is a light you can switch on anytime you wish. Dearest one, I am an angel of healing. I come to you, for you are ready to heal. Close your eyes and feel my presence this very moment. Feel the light of the stars shining eternally bright inside your heart. You are much greater than you know. You are so much more than this physical existence, eternally one with the spirit of life. Powerful beyond measure, for you hold the essence of creation within you. Know that the essence of life is love, and that love has the power to heal you. Be in touch with all you truly feel and unlock all that remains hidden in your heart. Take some time each day to write down your thoughts and feelings. Expressing yourself in this way will help activate your healing. Healing is a process, so be patient. At times it may feel like things are getting worse. However, this is part of the healing process. As you start to release the many emotions you have stored inside, you may at times feel out of balance. Once again, be patient, for this is just a part of the process. Trust, for a beautiful transformation is unfolding. I like these cards. I hadn't looked them up or read into them much. When I was in the store, what I felt pulled to grab, I did. And I was a very bad girl, and I did not grab my other cards before I started the video, so let us pull Who Wants to Talk today. The particular store that I go to is where I've bought a few of my decks. I don't want to grab that deck, but it's gonna make me do it. It's one of those things where sometimes when you're going through your decks and you're getting them out and getting ready to use them, sometimes one will just kind of flash in my head and say, hey, me too. And as much as it's not so much that I don't want to use this deck because I don't like it, so don't get me wrong. It's just sometimes I'm like, oh, but I don't want to give anybody bad news. Or, you know, I don't want to go into the depressive stuff today, but I have to honor when things call out to me, and this one is for this reading, so. But it wants to go towards the end, so who wants to talk first? It looks like Moonology does. So, Moonology, who else? Energy, and I know you, but anyone else? Okay. I'm sure if you're a reader and you're watching this, I'm sure you can relate. Where can I put these and make sure that they are safe? And also somewhat within reach. Without being in the way, as it were. Okay. Let's grab this over here. Let's put these over here. All the things that I usually have done before I start the video, so I apologize if I'm a little disorganized today. When I was coming up the stairs, I kind of did so in a rush. I didn't realize that one of my cats had gotten locked up in a room. And when I heard her crying, I'm like, okay, let me run up there and let me grab the things that I need and I'll record. So, yeah, I'm a little bit scattered at the moment, but that's okay. Everything's here now. We're good. So let's see. These aren't the only decks that want to talk to you. As always, I'm shuffling on camera, so you see me doing it, so there's no question about whether I am stacking the deck or anything of that nature. Everything I'm doing is live. Okay, what do you have to say to this person? Oop, my bad. I pulled it upside down. Ah, there we go. Very, very appropriate card for this. There you go. So you definitely, obviously have healing. It says, work through your fears. New moon in Scorpio. Nothing is yet set in stone. Mutable moon. Take time to breathe out. Disseminating moon. And what do you need to release? Waning moon. So it looks like you are being pulled to do shadow work. And I know that can be a bit of a scary thing. Especially if you have buried deep down within you traumas and things that you do not really want to delve into and deal with. I know, I've been there. It is not an easy thing to do at all, but trust me when I say that it's a necessary process and it's one that will help you a lot. Whispering Woods is drawing me for a moment, so let's see. Transform. Emerge with beauty and grace from your cocoon. Teach. Inspire others and let nature be your greatest teacher. And friends. The most unlikely friendships can form like variegated lichens on hard rock. They create a tight bond. So from these three, I get the feeling that part of your healing, part of your transformative process is by helping others. You can do this even without even really intentionally doing it, to be honest. And let me see if the light will cooperate now. teaching doesn't necessarily mean you have to be a teacher in a classroom. It could just mean that you offer guidance to people, be it online, be it in some other way. That sometimes the strongest way that we help ourselves is by helping others. But keep in mind that while doing that, you also need to put some kind of boundary that you're not constantly helping others and not helping yourself at the same time. So keep in mind, you still do need to face your stuff. You still need to delve into the things that you don't want to necessarily deal with. But I'm finding that by teaching to people and talking to people and just being yourself and allowing yourself to be completely transparent. And that doesn't mean, tell the world every single aspect about your life. That's not what I mean. I mean, just allow yourself to be your truest self, if that makes any sense. And your friends, I feel, are going to be pinnacle in helping you through this process. Maybe not so much your family, maybe not so much another outside force. Maybe this is a situation where you may not be able to afford to go to therapy, which is fine. I know I couldn't for a number of years. But sometimes the biggest step is in trusting and relying on the people closest to you to sort of be your sounding board. And it's really important to find people who are truly there for you and are not judgmental and will be there for you through it all, whether it's good, bad, or otherwise. I'm just trying to not overcrowd the board. Kuan Yin wants to speak. Let's see if it'll allow me to shuffle a bit. I think I may have found a solution to finding cards that I can actually shuffle and will fit in my hand. Because this deck is not the full-size deck for the Kuan Yin Oracle. This is a pocket size. So, yay! See, I said if you expose it to air and just let it kind of breathe, sometimes the cards will loosen up and just cooperate. So, okay. Hear the yellow tiger mother. Sometimes we must be strong and hold true whilst all around us seems to be shifting and changing. The yellow tiger mother Kuan Yin, in her guardian role, is roaring within you, reminding you that you are a powerful being of light. It's the second time you've gotten that message. And even whilst you are in flow with the universal forces, your strong roots help you stand your ground as your light shines true. So, here is your Kuan Yin card. And now, let us see what else needs to be said. Who's next? Keep hearing energy, so it's got to be for a reason. This is becoming one of my favorite new decks. I'm not gonna lie. Although they're all my babies and I all love them all in their own way. Yes, even the Dark Mirror Oracle. I've been loving the energy of these, and I've been finding them really helpful whenever I'm seeking to give others guidance. And I hope these do, even if I'm doing these readings during Mercury in retrograde, and sometimes communication can be a bit wonky. I at least hope that these are giving you some sort of guidance. I know personally I had to stop looking at pickacard readings until Mercury in retrograde is over, simply because, for me anyway, I have this struggle where if I'm picking cards or whatnot, sometimes it's me getting the message that I want to hear, which isn't always true for me. But, yeah, all tied up. Makes perfect sense. That, it's a literal meaning. You feel stuck. You feel like you can't go anywhere. Angel of Balance is talking about finding your equilibrium. Thinking Man. So you may find either it's a male friend or a mentor of some sort who has masculine energy, or might be a male, who can help guide you through this. For some of you, I'm getting the sense that you might actually find a shamanic practitioner who's going to help you in some way. Be it through, God, the word just escaped me. It's not hypnosis, it's sort of like a trance magic or dream state type of healing. But I am seeing, for some of you at least, there may be a male shaman who will assist you in this in some way. And a shaman doesn't necessarily have to be Native American. They can be really from anywhere or anyone. They just have to have that inner spiritual pull. Let me just shift these a bit. Let me actually do the Dark Mirror Oracle first. And we will see what it has to say. Because then I'll end it with the Psychic Tarot. Oh. Yep. You definitely do sacrifice yourself for others. This is very much a white knight type of situation where you put everyone else's needs in front of you. Envious gluttony. Be honest here. Do you possibly have this sense that where you see other people thriving and you wish that you had that yourself kind of situation? Because that's the feeling I'm getting from this. That may not be the exact definition of the card. Sorry about the background noise. I live on a busy street and it's a Saturday and people are noisy. But I think that's possibly part of your inner stuff that you have to heal and have to work through, is jealousy and envy does not do you any benefit. It's something that I actually said to Dustin Daly recently, where he had posted something about people being jealous and, you know, dragging on him or other people because of the things that they have. And I'm like, it's one of those things where in life it's okay to aspire to the success that someone else has. It's okay to want that for yourself, but it's not okay to try to drag other people down to get it yourself. If that makes sense. Aspire, don't envy. And remember, things aren't always as green and as lovely as they may appear. I know before I even came up here, I watched the movie Sleeping with the Enemy with Julia Roberts, and that is a very poignant movie with regards to what I just said, where here she was living this lavish life and everything seems perfect from the outside, but on the inside everything was absolute torture and hell for this woman. And I mean that in every literal way. There was it wasn't listed as a remake of it, but it was a remake of it. I just can't remember the name of it. It was on Netflix, I believe, that I saw recently. Where it was basically the exact same story, but in that one, the woman had a child. And I'm trying to remember the actors in it. I remember I think it was an entirely African American cast. If I can remember the movie, or find the movie, I'll try to post it somewhere in here. But, I know that one, and I know there was also another one that was done recently. But I just remember the one that I just mentioned off the top of my head because I remember tweeting out, I'm like, okay, so this movie is basically exactly Sleeping with the Enemy, just with an African American cast. Okay. Which, let's face it, Hollywood does that all the time. Remaking movies, putting some form of twist on it. And let's see. Whoop. Sometimes they do that. Sometimes they just want to let you know. And that is your second or third message to be patient. So, and that's not just being patient with others, it's being patient with yourself. I said in another video that, you know, it's one of those things where I tend to have a struggle. Yep, shadow work, right there. Right there. Spiritual union doesn't necessarily have to be a lover or finding love, or if you're already in a relationship having anything really to do with a lover. Spiritual union can also be about finding your equilibrium and finding your balance, which I think I've already pulled a card or two about that. So this is about, you're definitely being called to do shadow work, to deal with your demons, basically. And in doing so, you will find your equilibrium. And you will come to accept yourself completely and holistically. And I get the feeling that that's more why the spiritual union card popped up in this circumstance. And you need to be patient with yourself. You need to self-care. I know that is a common thing that I'm frequently finding myself saying. And, especially in these pick-a-cards, because I think we're all problematic with that, you know. where we take care of the world, but we put ourselves to the side, kind of thing. So, anyway, this has been your reading, and I hope that it was helpful, and I hope that this guidance finds you well. And before I click out, remember, here is your card. And if you have been watching my pick-a-cards and this is not the first time you have been told to do healing, take this as the universe knocking you upside the head saying, hey, get with it, okay? So, I hope this has been helpful, and until next time, blessed be. Okay, group 2, clear quartz. Here is your reading. So let's see what your card has to say to you. Wisdom. As I said to the previous group, this is a brand new deck for me. So I am actually going to read off the meaning. Wisdom. You are wise and beautiful. You are a wise and beautiful old soul. This card confirms that you have taken the right course of action or have responded in a just way to a recent matter. Sometimes the best thing for all concerned is to have the strength to say no. Your recent response will serve to empower you and everyone else involved. To have wisdom is to stand in your own truth with love and respect in your heart for yourself, all humanity, the earth, and all living things. Allow yourself to be flexible like the willow that sways with the wind yet remains strongly rooted in the earth. Life is constantly changing within and around you, yet your core essence remains the same. Love and wisdom do not change, they only grow stronger. Continue to live and respond to all in your life through love and truth, for in doing so you honor the spirit of all living things. So, let's see which deck wants to talk first. Looks like Psychic Tarot. Come out. It's one of those things, I try to be efficient and I try to make sure I put all my cards away and everything like that between readings so that there's not a whole bunch of decks spread out all over the place. But, sometimes it is what it is. If you hear a lot of background noise, I apologize. I live on a somewhat busy street, and it is about in the middle of the day, so people are out and about. Okay, group 2. Power. Transformation. You are the second one to get transformation. Yep. This makes sense. So, temptation is that key thing that you kind of have to battle. But, looks like you're being called to go into solitude, transformation. So this isn't necessarily a healing moment. It may very well be that you need time to self-reflect and reorganize some things that you have been possibly working on or planning to do. And in order to do that, you kind of need to withdraw from people, from society to a degree. Obviously, I'm not saying don't go to work. I'm not saying don't take care of your bills and take care of the things that you need to take care of, because hello, we're all living the human experience. And yeah, we kind of gotta suck it up and do the things that we don't necessarily want to do. But this is calling on you to kind of, the tarot card that basically equates to this is the Hermit. So solitude is going to help in you possibly breaking through some sort of barrier that you've been having to some extent. Don't let temptation distract you. So I know for me personally, when I first started getting into doing this channel and everything, I still had a mobile game on my cell phone, and sometimes it was just easy to get lost in it and not pay attention to what I wanted to do and what I was working towards developing with this channel. And the temptation of that distraction was sometimes a bit stronger than it should have, and ever since I quit playing that game, I'm just giving an example here, I've been a lot happier. I've felt free from a lot of the toxicity that was going on in the game. I have been able to channel my energy into this channel and everything that I've been loving doing with it, and it's helped me personally reclaim my own power. So keep in mind that removing temptation and distractions will help with these three. It will help remove the temptation, do some solitude, and you will find transformation and either a reclamation of your power or some sort of inner strength coming to you. And forgive me, I need to take a little sip of some water. It's getting a little dry in here. Okay, so who's next? Moonology. I always find it interesting how each pick-a-card grouping, even if the same decks want to talk over and over again, they want to talk in different orders, they want to talk in different organization. Like the one before this one, Moonology was calling, but it wanted me to draw 4 cards, so I had 4 Moonology cards around the center card. So okay, Moonology, what do you have for Group 2? Conclusions are within reach. Full moon eclipse. So yeah, it looks like maybe you've been dealing with a problem. Maybe you've been dealing with some sort of issue or some sort of block of some kind, and this is letting you know you're gonna have a breakthrough with it. Try not to worry so much. It is coming, but I do see this solitude, removing temptation, is going to aid with clearing that out. Let's see what Whispering Wind has to say. Joy. Spread seeds of joy like a wildflower, and no doubt you will revel in the result. And journey, branch out to new worlds. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean go traveling. Branching out could very well just mean delving into new areas of research. It could mean to quote, well, paraphrase quote, one of my favorite poems from Robert Frost is, travel the path that you may not have considered before. So keep in mind that journey doesn't necessarily mean you're being called to travel anywhere. It could very well be. Again, this is a general reading, and for some people it may mean different things, but it is calling upon you to be joyful and be present and allow yourself to experience the things that you are either researching or delving into in some way. So try to keep that in mind. And let me bring forward the Kuan Yin. And this deck, I'm not even really looking at it while I shuffle it because each card has a different picture on it. And I want to see what it has to say for group 2. I am legit shuffling with my eyes closed right now. Group 2. Here is your Kuan Yin. It says, immortal treasures. Within you are precious immortal treasures, gifts of your soul, which include the ability that you have to transmit healing. Honor yourself as a healer, whether formally or informally. Your soul brings a special healing light to humanity. You have divine support in your role as a healer in whatever way, usual or highly unusual, that this is unfolding for you now. So it could very well be that you are being called to do a sort of higher power, higher spirit work. That could be the path that you may not have delved into. It could very well be the journey card that came up in the Whispering Woods. Could very well be that you're being called to do some sort of, I hate when the word escapes me, charity work of some sort, or being called to help people in some way. So keep that in mind, that is a possibility. It may not have been something you've ever considered before, but you may be being called to it now. So, okay. I'm just trying to make sure I don't have a lot of clutter. See what energy has to say to you. And my other moon deck seems to want to talk to you, so I will do that one after this one. these cards seem to want to come out. Yep, there is some sort of money aspect here. Looks like there is a very strong female presence in all of this, whether it be you or somebody else influencing the situation, because here we have the thinking woman. So it may very well be that a female presence or a female person, or maybe somebody who has a lot of feminine energy, is meant to help and guide you through the situation. I do keep getting like this pull that it has to do something with business. So maybe you've been having some sort of block with something business-wise for a while, but altruism, there we go. Being altruistic, going on a path you may not have gone on before, delving into information you may not have considered before. These kinds of things are going to help you break through whatever block is going on. And woman holding with coin, I don't know if it's the same woman here or another woman, but this has to do with financial matters. 7th chakra has to deal with the crown chakra. It is the chakra that you generally receive a lot of information from the universe through. It is your higher self. It is your higher power. It is your higher being. So I do get the sense that you are in fact being called to do some sort of higher power work, and that altruism or charity work of some nature may help guide you and help you work through whatever blockage has been going on here. So let me get the other moon deck. At some point I'm gonna have to get some like bookshelf or something next to me so I can put all the decks on it and not have them all on the table simultaneously, but for now we make do with what we have. And I have some plans to reorganize this space and make it a little bit easier to use. So with that, there will be changes. Okay. Yeah, Tower card. I love myself completely and unconditionally. I trust the mystery of life. I am courageous and steady and strong. So they are calling on you to be strong. Maybe face your fears kind of thing. The mystery of life, I still feel that that has to do with going down a path that you're not used to, or one that you may not have done before. So yeah, I just feel all these three. Don't worry, whatever you've been dealing with that has some sort of blockage, it's gonna end. But I do heed you to do some sort of altruism, to do some sort of work where you're helping others. If you feel drawn to something that you may not have looked at before, this is your angels or your spirit guides or anything of that nature pulling you in a direction that, while you may not have considered it before, they're saying, hey, this over here will help you in some way. So heed that. It's one of those things that I frequently tell people. Life will give you signs. And frequently those signs will come in threes, because we're human. We get so distracted by our day-to-day life, we don't necessarily see it the first time that it happens. The second time it happens may make us go, huh, that's interesting. But the third time, it's kind of like somebody taking a sledgehammer and banging you over the head saying, hey, idiot, pay attention to this. So if you have any signs or things coming around that may happen in threes, definitely take that as some sort of sign from the universe that this is something that you need to do or look at in some way. So just putting that out there. Because the more you resist it, the more the universe will smack you upside the head. And let me tell you, as somebody who has been through that, it is not a fun process, especially if you're being purposefully stubborn and putting a blind eye to it. Like, la 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 la, I don't hear you, I don't see you, I don't want to know. That's usually when the universe will say, you're not going to ignore this. So here is your card. And I hope this reading has been beneficial in some way, and I hope that it gives you the guidance that you need. And with that, until next time, blessed be. Okay, Group 3, Icelandic Spar. Here is your reading. Ooh, abundance. So, let us see how abundance carries into your reading. I'm being called to use the Goddess Guidance card deck, which you're the first group that it has wanted to speak to today, so come on. Thank you. Sometimes the boxes are a little stubborn, so let us see. I love that card. That card is gorgeous. As always, shuffling live. Okay. Athena. Kali. I did a video on Kali. I'll link it somewhere up here, so that if you want to delve more into her and her meaning and what she's all about, you can do so after your reading. And Damara, guiding children. Someone's telling me one more. Another transformation. I swear, it's like every reading today is about transformation. So Athena is all about inner wisdom. You know what to do, trust your inner wisdom, and take appropriate action without delay. Kali is endings and beginnings. So you may very well be going through, and that makes sense why you got the Butterfly Maiden. Think of this almost the equivalent of the Death card in tarot, where the Death actually means that you are ending one cycle and starting a new one, and things are starting new again. That's basically what's going on here. Damara is about guiding children. You are good at helping, counseling, and healing children. Use your skills to help children now. So I'm not quite sure how that one fits in yet, but perhaps with other cards they can maybe give some sort of assistance. I don't know if you're a teacher or if you're just somebody that children naturally like. I tend to be one of those people. I tend to have a very mothering aura, and no matter where I go, kids generally like me, so It could be you are a mother or a father or have children of your own. So you are being called to help children in some way. So keep that in mind. It doesn't necessarily have to be career. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a side hustle of babysitting. Just pay attention because there may be something coming up with kids, even if it's not your own. So Kali is endings and beginnings. The old must be released so that the new can enter. And Butterfly Maiden is transformation. You are experiencing enormous change right now, which brings great blessings. Abundance is your card. So it looks like you are going to have some financial help soon. So let me... Okay. For some reason, Dark Tarot wants to speak. We will see what that's about. May have to do with the kids. So, let us see. Getting a lot of notifications today. Everybody's always so talkative when I'm doing recording, I swear. Okay, so what do you have to say to group 3? Yeah, the second group this deck has wanted to talk to today. For a chance to dream, obsession. It's saying that card isn't for you. Masquerade. Let me look this up real quick. I get the... Yeah, so let me just look up that card because I'm not sure. Again, this is kind of a new deck for me, so I'm still trying to learn it. I'm not entirely sure how this fits in with your reading, but I get the feeling this has to do with the kids. I don't know if there's going to be more than one, but there's something going on. Masquerade basically means that someone is putting on a facade of some sort. Obsession is kind of self-explanatory. Perchance to dream. It's talking about surrender, giving in, and interesting, this says, it's time to surrender, to drown, to dive headfirst into the cozy, all-enveloping darkness of a blanket. It's the moment of weakness, a desire to close your eyes and surrender just for one moment. 1 second, 1 minute, not like a hero fighting the world, but like a kid just welcoming the darkness outside within fully. So this one, I just get the feeling is telling you to let go of whatever things are going on. Maybe that's where the kid comes in. Maybe it's more about your inner child. This one is flummoxing me a bit. Let me pull another deck and see what comes up from that. Be kind, get in your box. Just trying to see who wants to talk next. Whispering Woods. This is another new deck for me, so group 3. Retreat, renew, change. Well, that certainly all is kind of self-explanatory. Retreat is going into more like a hermit stage where you're pulling back from things. This is spoil yourself in the morning mist, breathe in nature's sweet scents. Renew, nature continually renews itself year after year, so that kind of goes along with the death and rebirth cycle. Change, falling leaves do not signify the end, but the beginning of a fruitful season. So try to keep that in mind. That when things look like they're falling apart, they're usually going through some sort of transformative cycle, and whatever's going on will come to an end and things will change. They may be different, but they will likely improve. Let me grab Kuan Yin. This deck I am literally about to shuffle with my eyes closed because each card has its own image, and I'm wanting to make sure that I don't whoop the things that happen when you go to shuffle with your eyes closed. I don't want the images to not so much corrupt the reading, but as I have said before, sometimes I can be a very visual person, and certain colors, certain images will draw me over others, so I'm trying to make sure that this reading is as accurate without my input, I guess you could say. Ooh. Yep. Okay. Someone told me this was your card, so she has a harp, which is kind of interesting because I play the harp, and it is literally the Book of Changes. Just like a beautiful but unusual melody, the divine plan is unfolding through your life, although it isn't always predictable. Kuan Yin is guiding you in the right direction, even if you do not fully understand what is happening in your life. Right now, allow Kuan Yin to bless you with trust in the unfolding of your own divine path. That very much falls in line with death and rebirth. That child one. I'm starting to wonder if the child one has to do with something I was thinking about earlier, and that the energies aren't getting a little confused with that. So let me see. Just doing a little smoke clearing. Trying to keep the messages and the cards on point. So, group 3, the last deck that wants to talk to you is my Gaia Oracle. Or is it the last deck? We'll see. We will find out. I was thinking of doing a true crime reading and recording it today for Friday, so we'll see how that comes up. I was watching the one Aphrodite did earlier, and thinking about the kids kind of got stuck in my head. So that's why I'm saying I almost think that it has to do with that energy getting stuck. Zen Garden, Inner Sanctuary, a jewel within a teardrop, appreciation, spiritual and emotional reconnection, enchanted forest, mystery, magic, and excitement. So, Zen Garden is very much a hermit card, going within. When you do go within, you may deal with some shadow work kind of stuff, but I get the feeling that your mental, emotional, spiritual being selves will reconnect and sync up together with one another. And I have the feeling that has to do with mystery, magic, and excitement coming in. Is there anyone else who wants to talk? No. Okay. So yours is a shorter reading, but I think we touched on some things that whatever transformative cycle you're going through right now, everything's going to be okay, and abundance is going to end up being what comes to you. So try to keep that in mind. Try to keep faith. Keep strong. Here is your card. And I hope this reading has given some assistance and some guidance. And until next time, blessed be. Hello, Group 4, and this is your reading. Here's the Angel Aura Quartz Pyramid. And let us see what your card is. Earth Changes. Interesting. Where this is a new deck for me, let me look up that card and see what it has to say. Earth Changes. As we begin the new millennium, the energies which have affected and influenced our Earth for the past 2,000 years are shifting and new energies are emerging. The age of Pisces, which interestingly enough we are in, is over and the new Aquarian cycle has begun. Through Aquarius, we will start to change the way we think and feel. The way we each perceive life is already changing and will continue to do so. There is now a giant infusion of love streaming down upon the earth and swelling out from within its heart, just as love is streaming down upon you and swelling from within your own heart. This influx of love is changing your awareness of life and affecting humanity as a whole. You are asked not to fear any changes occurring in your life at present, for all is happening in accordance with the divine plan. Current events are simply paving the way for a brighter future. Love illuminates all darkness. Be positive and bright about the future. If at times you feel confused or fearful, remember that This is part of the transformation process. Surrender all that no longer serves you. Let all that remains buried in your heart surface in order that it may be healed. In doing this, you will make room for new and beautiful energies to emerge that will enable you to fully embrace a coming golden age of your life. So, yeah. And immediately this deck is summoning me, so let us see what the moon deck has to say. If you see some mist going by the screen, I am doing a bit of smoke cleansing while I do this one, because the last one came up a little weird and I wanted to make sure that any energies were cleared off, I guess you could say. Okay. Allow stillness to heal and reveal. Trust the mystery of life. And I celebrate my lineage and honor my ancestors. This is the second reading that this card came up in. That's why I paused for a second. So, interesting. This is not like... So far, this is not reading like you have a problem. You're just getting some guidance. So this one is definitely talking about looking to your ancestors, perhaps doing ancestral healing. It could also be calling upon you to actually delve into your ancestors, or even look at things in a more anthropological sense, which ironically is kind of how I'm running my channel, as I've been delving into the subject of paganism in a very anthropological manner. So I don't know if some of my older videos will help or not, but they're there anyway. And trust the mystery of life. Let me get the Kuan Yin deck, and I'm going to shuffle this with my eyes closed, mainly because they are all a different image on the back, and I don't want my eye getting stuck to pulling something that may not necessarily be for you, if that makes sense. I will say shuffling with my eyes closed is not necessarily the easiest thing to do, but it certainly is something that I am doing, so. Report. That one's poking out. Okay. This Kuan Yin is Radiant Moon of Compassion. Kuan Yin sits upon a radiant moon of compassion, pouring forth the spiritual strength needed for you to liberate yourself from lower vibrational energies of fear and judgment and shift to a vibration of freedom, love, and peace, where you naturally belong. You are being urged to do this you are being urged to use this power to grow spiritually and free yourself from a situation that would otherwise dim your bright spirit. I'm getting tongue twisted now. Here is your Kuan Yin. Okay, now this is making a little bit more sense why these cards are coming up. it's seeing, and here's something that I have noticed personally for myself. I don't know about other people, but when you are doing energy work and when you are doing vibrational work, sometimes you can feel repulsed, literally, by certain people, by certain places, by certain things, because that person, that place, or anything of that nature can literally make you feel almost sick to your stomach. And the reason why that may be is because they may be operating at a lower vibrational place than you currently are. So if you notice someone being very angry, like you pick up on somebody's very angry, it may be in your best interest to steer clear of them, especially while you are trying to lift yourself higher. Let's see what Whispering Woods has to say. Flow. Go with the flow. As water trickles down a stream, do not hurry. Hope. An idea like a single acorn can start a wondrous forest and growth. The tallest oak tree once started as a seedling. Don't be afraid to start something new. So, if you feel being pulled in a certain direction, if you feel drawn to things you may not have necessarily felt drawn to previously, say, all of a sudden you're wanting to do something like yoga. I'm just giving an example. And it's not something that's ever been interesting to you before. That's usually the universe, your guides, your angels, your guardians, however you want to call them, will usually lead you to things that will help you raise yourself to a higher point, and will usually guide you to things that will allow you to improve your life for the better, not just for others, but for yourself as well. And it could be that the universe is getting you ready to be called to do work for higher good, or basically draw you on something that you're being called to do. But either way, you're definitely being called to raise your vibration. And especially if you're somebody who's been depressed, if you're somebody who has been struggling and been very much in your head, I know that can be a very difficult thing to do. Ooh. I know from personal experience. So, I definitely try to pay attention to signs. Now, let's... Yep, door to personal healing and happiness. Patience. Cornucopia. Yep, that all makes sense. One more. Attachment. Letting go of attachment. That's what I get from that card. Part of being drawn to raise your vibration frequently means changing your perception of the world. It may mean a release of maybe getting rid of material things, or you may find things that used to be so important to you no longer hold any real importance to you, so it's time to get rid of them, type of thing. It could be people may end up leaving out of your life that you used to be so close with, and that happens all the time. And yeah, it is a process. It is not something that happens fast by any means or measure. I do recommend maybe listening to meditation tracks on YouTube or something of that nature. Especially ones that help you raise your vibration, and look for ones that don't have ads or mid-roll ads, especially, because there's nothing worse than listening to a meditation track and having it get interrupted with, hey, buy this product. It's like, that does not serve the process I'm trying to achieve. I do recommend Esther Hicks. I will link below in the comments under your timestamp the meditation that I've personally been using to help me start off my day in a positive frame of mind. It is a 30-minute meditation, so try to keep that in mind. But I find that one personally has been helping me, so it may help you. But things are going to get better. Cornucopia is all about abundance and basically things getting better, door to personal healing and happiness. So yeah, try to work on raising your vibration. Try to heed that internal aspect of, if you feel that someone does not feel like they are on the same vibrational level with you or higher, it may just be wise to shut that door. It doesn't have to stay shut forever. It's just, at least while you're going through this process, so that you can focus on what you need to focus on in order to elevate your own energy and bring yourself on a higher level. So I hope this reading has been helpful. I hope that the guidance that I've given has been of assistance, and yeah, until next time, I wish you all the happiness in the world has to offer, and brightest blessings, and blessed be.